Hey guys, Wes here. So, this episode of the podcast was not the ideal situation. I had a guest lined up for Friday. It didn't work out. We rescheduled it from Friday morning to Saturday morning, which is all well and good. I was fine doing that. And then Saturday morning came and they decided wasn't going to work that time either. So, I was left without a guest for this week's edition. I had already been up for 15 hours, so my rush was to find a guest while I was still awake and could do the episode, and we did. I found a guest many hours later. I was probably awake at like 20 hours at that point. So we recorded the episode. It was a shorter episode. They were happy to do it on the fly. I'm very thankful for that. I saved the Blue Yeti recording in Audacity. The Craig bot saved it the rest of the way. And then I wake up after I went to sleep, and what do you know? The Blue Yeti recording on Audacity seems to have an issue. I can't do anything with it. I can't edit it to remove the background noise. I can't save it as a WAV file or an equivalent to get it moved into Sony Vegas. It's dead for whatever reason. Like, I can play it in Audacity, but I can't do anything else with it. So I'm just kind of left with the Razor Kraken recording from my end. That is how I talk to them since I'm mobile exclusive. So I do have that for you. So this is not an ideal way to go about it, but unfortunately this appears to be my only option at this point. If you're hearing this, I went through with it, and I'm sorry, and hopefully next week everything doesn't fall apart. Hope you enjoy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the sixth edition of Best as a podcast I have been doing for over a month now. I'm pretty proud to say that I've been consistent with this for now. We're going to see if it continues. Once again, I've brought in a new guest. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Courtney.
So, what do you do?
What do I do? Good question. On YouTube, I just make silly like DIY style videos. Most of my stuff is actually improv, so it just depends on how it goes.
She does absolutely the best DIY videos. They're very inspirational, and I want to do all of them.
I should clarify that they're not really DIYs. This is more of terrible DIYs.
Terrible DIYs has to be the best DIYs I've ever seen.
Thanks.
So the big question that I've asked every single guest and got to keep your tradition going. When it comes to, have you heard of Disney Plus and all of that fun stuff?
Actually, I haven't.
All right, so Disney has decided that in next year they want to begin Disney Plus, which is going to be their streaming service to compete with, let's say, Netflix. And what they're going to do is they're going to have like the Star Wars franchise and the Marvel franchise, for example, on it. And what they've been doing the past month is they've been canceling Daredevil, they've canceled Iron Fist. I want to say Luke Cage is the other one that's been canceled right now. I think Jessica Jones and whatever other one there is still good to go right now. But what Disney's doing, they're going to remove all the Marvel Netflix things from Netflix, put it on their platform, which is, I guess that's all fair and good. It's your property. You have it back on your thing. But the thing for me is they have decided, okay, we're going to do these new Marvel shows and we're going to put the characters that you see in the movies in it. For example, they're going to do one with Scarlet Witch, they're going to do one with Loki. I've read they're going to do one with Falcon. And although these aren't the most major characters in the world, if they make it integral to watch and make it to where you're missing out on part of the cinematic universe if you don't watch it, I feel like that's really a messed up thing to try and force people to get Disney Plus. And the question I've asked every guest is when it comes to what Disney Plus will offer, which is going to be more than Marvel and Star Wars, but that's all we know so far. Do you think you would be getting Disney Plus?
Honestly, no. I mean, as much as I love Marvel and all that kind of stuff, I don't see myself purchasing another streaming thing. I mean, you gotta think about it. There's Netflix, there's Hulu, and I mean, honestly, I don't promote it, but there's also pirating if you really want to. And you gotta also
Or
think too, there's also the Amazon streaming list. There's just too many.
yeah, at some point when we get more things like Disney Plus, Warner Bros. Wants to do their own Netflix rifle. Eventually, we're just going back to an even more expensive cable. That's all we're getting to.
Yes. That's actually a good way to put it. That it really is just more like expensive cable. And my other thing too is that it just stops people from wanting to go purchase these movies. I'm not gonna waste my time and see a movie if I'm not gonna understand half the things that are going on.
Exactly, and it's just how is Disney going to angle this to not get a lot of backlash? Because I understand, like, if you're a company like Disney, although Disney has, I have to assume, tons and tons of money, I don't see why they really need to do it. But at the same time, I understand why you'd want a streaming service like Netflix has. That way you can try and rake in all the money Netflix tries to acquire. But at the same time, I just don't feel like people are going to go for it when it's like, okay, as you said, we have Hulu, we have Amazon, we have this, we have that already, and it's just become too much.
Exactly. And if anything, like I said, I don't promote it, but it just really influenced people to pirate this stuff instead of paying for it.
Absolutely, and if you give people a reason to get something illegally, and they're going to do it that way because for them it just won't be as big of a deal because you want to try and charge them this much when you were friendly. You had the Marvel Netflix shows. That was all well and good. Daredevil, for example, apparently did really, really good on Netflix. So now that you want to move it to your platform and you're just canceling it on Netflix, just straight out, you're canceling good shows for no reason other than just to move it to your platform. I just don't think that tactic is going to win over people.
I would say it doesn't win over people, casual watchers, but I mean hardcore fans or families that, already their kids love Disney, so, why not do a little something for them? I see it working for those kind of people. But overall, I feel like them losing out on the middle people.
Absolutely, 100% I can agree with that. And to kind of go on the topic of what I've talked about on previous episodes, I found a chart on Reddit that I feel like really puts it into perspective. It's a 2018 global games market per device and segment with year on year growth rate. And the 2018 total, according to this, is 137.9 billion dollars, up 13.3%. And the thing is, you have the three major categories is mobile, PC, and console, and 51% of that comes from mobile.
Hmm. That really is interesting.
And I feel like for a lot of gamers, I don't think most of the hardcore gamers, the people that are going to be playing all these big games on PC or console, are the same people that would play all the games on mobile. Like, I'm sure most people have played a mobile game or two, but to consider that the majority of money per device slash console slash PC, and it's overwhelmingly mobile, that's really fascinating. I guess it goes to show that the Diablo Blizzard people kind of have a point, and if you want to make a lot of money, I guess mobile is a way to go.
I think that's why I have to agree with that actually. I mean, it's just so easy. You always have your phone with you.
Absolutely, and it's like, okay, if we can give you the incentive to, if you buy this, then you'll benefit on this mobile game. That's
Shoot.
flattering to a lot of people.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. That's why, I like the Switch. It's super easy. You could just take it with you anywhere,
Absolutely.
it's like a nice hybrid. So I can
Yeah, and
definitely see like why something like mobile games do so well. I mean, I mean personally I love PC games, but I could see the benefit of companies moving to mobile.
PC is actually in last place in the mobile versus console versus PC for this year. It isn't by much. It's console is at 34.6 billion and PC is at 32.9, so it's not that
Oh,
much. But for the console people, I guess you can have a little bit of a win. It's like a 1% win.
congrats console users.
But even if you combine PC and console, you still don't get what mobile gets. So,
That's
rip.
true.
I just thought that was a fascinating chart. Like, the only thing with this chart is like, okay, the majority of mobile is, of course, the smartphone, as you said, because you're always carrying your phone around. I mean, the smartphone itself beats out PC and console. The other thing is tablet games, and that's only at like 13.9 billion. It's still a lot, but it's not quite what the overwhelming part was.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like with tablets, it has everything that your phone has besides the phone functions.
Yep. And it's harder to connect to internet on a tablet compared to being able to use data on a phone. At least in my experience, I don't know if there's actually better ways to go about doing that on
You
a
know,
tablet.
some tablets have it to where you can purchase like a hotspot for it. So it's not the worst, but just like you said, though, it is a lot easier for the phone.
Absolutely. And then when it comes to all of that, going on to what makes the mobile game so profitable, then you have Rockstar is starting to sell Red Dead Online Gold for real money. And I know a lot of people online thought that that wouldn't be the case and that it wouldn't be like Grand Theft Auto Online apparently was. But I mean, you kind of have to expect it. If it's the same Rockstar did it for one franchise, why wouldn't they do it for the next franchise and find a way to pocket that extra money that people are apparently very willing to spend?
Well, of course. I mean, I feel like it's silly for people to assume that they wouldn't do that. It's like with any game that has microtransactions in it. Y-
Yeah, and it's just the frustrating part of okay, I've said this before, but one person could spend 100 people's worth of microtransactions, and all 100 technically bought microtransactions.
That's true.
Definitely not the ideal way to go about it if you're a gamer. What I thought was interesting, I know you've played Stardew Valley before, right?
Of course, it's actually one of my favorite games.
Yeah, I didn't know Stardew Valley had a multiplayer, and apparently it's recently now available on the Nintendo Switch. Goes back to you talking about the Switch earlier.
Yeah, I did see that. I haven't had a chance to play online on there, but I have played it on PC.
What is Stardew Valley multiplayer compared to single player?
It's kind of nice. Basically, the person who starts the game is like the main person, and then the other people are just helpers on the farm. I mean, with those people though, it's basically you have your own little house on the farm.
So, we both use Discord a lot. Apparently, they have a Discord store soon or now or whatever.
Yeah,
And
they did.
I'm reading that in 2019, the Discord store will allow all developers to self publish games with a 90-10 revenue split. That's very interesting for developers, I guess.
Well, I mean, it gives them a higher incentive than Steam.
It does. And that's it goes back to if you want to compete with like a Netflix, you need to be able to compete on that big scale. And if this the Discord store can compete in that way with Steam, then maybe it could go places. Maybe people will want to put their games on that, and it can start building the base of players and get your devs there, and maybe it could become the next Steam.
It's kind of hard though. It's hard to compare to Steam because Steam has been around for so long. So
Uh-huh.
I mean I would hope the best, but I can't really personally see it being profitable right now.
See, I feel like the biggest thing Steam has, from my perspective, is the big sales they have where, like, what, once every quarter of the year they have this super big sale where everything's super discounted. I feel like that's a pretty big perk to Steam.
Exactly. That really is the big perk about it. And also just their storage and the storage with external games is also really nice in Steam compared to other places.
Yeah, and like for me, like I don't have full on internet, but if I already have the game downloaded on the Steam platform, they have the offline mode that I can still play those non-online games on, and I always find that pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you're traveling, if you and you have your laptop with you, it's really nice.
So how do you feel about the Telltale situation?
You know, I feel really bad for the developers and the fact that I don't know. I'm very mixed on this. I'm happy that they sold the game because people wanted to be finished, but I feel horrible for the developers who lost their jobs over it.
Didn't when they sold like the because I know The Walking Dead that's coming out soon. The final season episode 3 launches January 15th of next year, so that's a soon thing. Did they bring in the people that were working on it at the time to be with the new company, or was it completely new people?
You know, I'm not sure. I didn't really follow it to be honest with you.
Because from my perspective, like I feel like you would have to bring in the old people that way you can finish the story right because this is the final season, and I think it's gonna be what the normal 5 episodes maybe.
I mean, you would hope so. I mean, like I said, I feel horrible for the people developing the game because, you know, they lost their jobs and, you know, for a lot of people these are passion projects. So it's horrible to see that your project has been destroyed and then sold to someone else.
100%, and then like at the end of the day, okay, when this is done, when the Walking Dead final season is finally done, then if those same people got to work on the final couple episodes, now they got to go elsewhere. Eh, it was really sad for me because I really enjoy Telltale games. I know that they have their flaws, but when it comes to just the kind of game it is, the kind of narrative, your dialogue choices you can pick, even if they don't always really matter all the time, I always feel like it was always an enjoyable experience for me to be able to play Telltale games.
Yeah, I mean, they really did do a good job at that.
And with them being gone, like it's that specific kind of game that not like Life is Strange is kind of like it. That's the closest thing, I think, that's getting super popular to what Telltale has produced. So, will that kind of game just kinda die off now, or will those same writers and developers and all that be able to go elsewhere and help bring that kinda game forward under new company?
Shoot, I mean, with any genre game, I don't think that it's going to die off. I think that with anything, it will come back.
I really hope so, because it's like, for me, when it comes to, like, picking a console, because I've always been in that situation of having a PC the most of my life. I didn't have the full on internet to really utilize it. So it was also consoles for me. And the Sony has always had the more story driven narrative game exclusives that I really enjoy personally. Like they had Heavy Rain, they had Beyond Two Souls, The Last of Us, Until Dawn, these kinds of games that, while they're not perfect, I really enjoyed that kind of game.
Definitely, I feel like Sony does really excel in that.
So hopefully when it comes to Telltale's loss, hopefully someone like Sony that already does more of this narrative type games with all the fancy stuff in the background, hopefully they can bring in more publishers that will do stuff like that and bring that forward.
I hope so. And, like, I hope that those people who lost their jobs do find something like this again. Well, not like this, but, something that they enjoy doing.
Yeah, hopefully, because it just really sucks when anyone loses their job, and especially when like you just go into work after work, and apparently they worked very many more hours than they really should have, and then you walk into work one day and it's like, oh, pretty much all of you are gone, and the rest of you, the skeleton crew, you're going to be gone pretty soon, but good luck.
Yeah, and it's just crazy, You would hope that they would just tell their employees, like, a heads up.
Yeah, especially like just losing your job so suddenly with no heads up. That has to be the worst thing ever. Like, what was the company that went for bankruptcy in the past few months? Toys R Us?
Yeah, I mean, they went bankrupt about a year ago, but yes.
Yeah, it's just okay.
It's horrible. You know what, though? I must give Toys R Us credit where it's due. They're finally offering compensation to the employees who lost their job.
Yeah, and that's a very important thing. Like, you need to at least give the workers something when they just get let go like that, when your company's done, it has to bankrupt and get rid of itself, and it's very good to be able to just hand them something to just show appreciation in a way.
Well, not even just that, but, just people in general, they have bills to pay.
A lot of bills to pay,
Yes, and so it's just one of those things where it's very scummy for a company just to try to skip out on that.
especially for no good reason, and especially like if a company goes bankrupt, but you already know they have another project in mind that'll be the new version of it.
Ugh, yes.
So it's just really very scummy of them if they go down that path. But when you finally give them the pay and that example, very good of them.
Yes, I mean, they're making it right. It's just a really sad situation.
100%. So I read this non-gaming story. It's very short. Apparently, a 9-year-old daughter was told by her parents to go clean her room, and her response was to call 911.
Shoot, I don't blame her. No, but in all seriousness, it's actually really funny.
Like, how do you respond if you're the parents and
I
your child calls 911 because you told them to clean their room?
Shoot, I don't even know how I would react. It's more like, what brought you to this conclusion?
Well, this is an emergency. I don't want to clean my room. Police, police, please get here. I
Shoot.
just I don't understand.
I think it's really funny and really terrible at the same time.
And then of course the police showed up, and of course they made no big deal of it. They just advocated towards the parent and child about the importance of only using 911 in the situation of emergencies.
Well, yes, I would hope so.
So
It's
I
just,
guess the unfortunate lesson for the 9-year-old is cleaning your room and not wanting to is not an emergency.
I mean, it sometimes feels like an emergency, but
What child wants to clean their room? That's a good
Uh,
question.
who in general wants to clean their room?
Not me.
Same.
But it
Hmm,
has to be done.
that is true. It does.
Even if you don't want it to, like, there's a big difference in a room when you actually get it tidy.
Yes, that's true. Or just general cleaning's like, ugh, the worst.
100%. It's just like, there's so much to grasp when you're getting older. Like, okay, you got to go to school, you got to start dealing with these responsibilities. And then when you're an adult, it's like, okay, replace school with work. And then you got to deal with all these other fun things,
Oh yes.
the fun life of being an adult.
Very true. Hmm.
But hey, on the bright side, I mean, you have money. A little bit.
That's
Just a little bit.
just a little bit. Hey, it works.
You can buy a gumball from one of those machines and you can throw it at someone.
Oh, all right.
That's the cheapest form of entertainment, right?
You know what? Now I'm gonna do that.
Man, you know, I I read all these crazy things in a week. So apparently YouTube Rewind that finally got the most dislikes ever on YouTube, and it's just I understand why it got the most dislikes on YouTube. I'm just not sure what the solution is for them.
Well, I mean, the solution is to stop making them. My biggest thing is that people are like, "Oh man, the old YouTube rewinds are so good." I personally don't remember a good YouTube rewind. Is that wrong of me?
Honestly, I've never watched a YouTube Rewind until this year, and I really did not enjoy this year's, but it wasn't like this, oh, I feel sudden rage, let me leave a dislike. It's just like, it just wasn't a good video.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. My biggest thing is that YouTube does not represent their community anymore. And I will say that their old videos used to do that, but that's about it. Like they've never been entertaining. The only good quote YouTube rewind would be Weezer's video of pork and beans. Have you ever seen that? Their music
Yes,
video?
I have.
Then that is the only YouTube rewind that I can say exists. and that's good.
Yep. Were you affected by they recently cleaned out some of the inactive subs that they were able to suddenly find? Were you affected in the manner?
Yeah, I mean it happens every year, so I mean it doesn't surprise me. I lost about 20 subs, but I mean that's better than my channel has been, so I
Hey,
mean
at least it's a more concentrated bunch. That's 20 people that were inactive or were spam bot accounts or whatever. And
yeah,
there you go.
yeah, and that's how I feel about it really. It doesn't really upset me. It's more like finally spam accounts are gone. Hopefully my channel really reflects where it's at now, you know?
Hopefully, you can just like point your finger and make them go away from your channel. You don't want the spam channels on your channel anymore. Point them
That,
away.
that's right. But I do sympathize for people who do feel like are affected by it. Are really affected, like hundreds of subscribers lost, like that has to suck.
Yeah, I didn't really check to see how it affected the race between PewDiePie and T-Series. I'm honestly, on one hand, I care about that situation, and on the other hand, I don't care to check in regularly about how the race is going.
You know, I don't really know what to say about that other than, in general, you can't be number one on YouTube forever. I mean, it's bound to happen.
That's true. Someone or something is always gonna be able to surpass you eventually. It's just,
Exactly.
you
It's
know.
just, yeah, let's say it's not. I think it's cool that PewDiePie is still reaching these crazy numbers for being a single YouTuber, not like a company or anything of that sort.
Yeah, and like I know PewDiePie, he's gotten help along the way, but at the same time, it's like, okay, help is very important. Everyone needs some help every now and again. And I mean, the hard work he's put in to get where he's at is undeniable.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it's crazy, how he just started up as like a simple Let's Player and now he's this huge YouTuber.
In 5 years, though, it won't matter. PewDiePie versus T Series won't matter. Wesocracy will be the #1 channel on YouTube.
That's right. Everybody sub.
And #2 is going to be the terrible DIY.
Okay.
one day they're just gonna explode. You're gonna get like millions of subs in one day. Someone's gonna share it on Reddit. They're gonna share it everywhere. You're gonna see that big boom.
Oh, I hope not. I'm gonna be honest, I really hope not. My biggest thing is that YouTube is fun and all, but I do not want that. That's the
Yeah,
last
it can
thing.
be a lot of hassle.
Just in general, it's just weird. The thought of that always weirds me out. Like I can't, it's hard for me to imagine 1,000 people in a room. I can't imagine millions. Like that's too much stress.
Yeah, I just imagine all the millions of people and how,
Ugh.
man, that's just rough.
Yeah, I mean, I feel for people, I mean, it has to affect their personal life altogether.
Especially when it's like you're never gonna be able to please all of them.
Oh, not even just that, but in general, video making is not an easy thing.
Not at all. Like for me, every single aspect can be super difficult when it comes to, oh, I need to fix this thumbnail layout because someone gave a good suggestion, but oh, doing this, now I have to do this, and now I have to do this. And I spend hours wrapping my head around the best way to do this. And then at the end, I'm just like, okay, we'll see how this is received, and then I'll change it depending on how people feel about how it is now.
Exactly.
And that's just one step of the process. Then you have editing, then you have all this and all that. It's
Yes.
just one giant hassle.
Shoot, I wish I could pay someone to edit my videos. I cannot edit. That is the one thing that I am horrible at. I have no patience for it.
I get so angry in every step of the process besides recording. I just get so frustrated when I can't do it the way I imagine it. I just
Yes.
can't put it into it. And it's just like I spend hours being like, okay, this isn't working. So what's the next best thing I can do with my limited skill set?
Yes. And it's not like these programs are user friendly.
Not at all. Like even like, okay, you use Photoshop or you use Sony Vegas or you use Adobe,
Shoot.
what their video thing is called, or you use something like GIMP or something like Microsoft Paint. I guess Microsoft Paint would be the easiest of the bunch to use, but the more complex you get, the more you just need to Google how to do stuff.
Yes, that's exactly it. It's kind of funny with Photoshop. The way I learned how to do it was at work. They wanted me to make some kind of design, and I had no idea how to do anything. And so I just spent hours just trying to learn how to use this program that I knew nothing about.
It's just like now you gotta learn it, and then like, oh, a couple months down the road, now you need to learn how to do this on the same software that you don't already know how to do, and it's just like, ugh.
Yes.
Technology is the biggest pain in the ass ever, but at the same time, it can be so useful.
It is useful once you get the hang of it. It's just, very daunting looking in. It's like, what does this circle thing do? I have no idea.
Here, let me play around with it. Oh, it just got rid of everything. Oh no.
Yes. Or, you're using a very slow computer and it's like, oh, great, everything crashed. There goes all of my work.
I've played the stubborn game with my laptop. One time I was doing something on Sony Vegas and rendered it out, and it got to 100%, but it kept going. It wouldn't finish whatever the last thing is after 100% where it finishes it. I waited a whole day. I was stubborn. I was not gonna let it win. I waited a whole day. And once it hit like the day point and it restarted the clock back to like 10 seconds, I'm like, fine.
That is rough. I would not have that kind of patience, so kudos to you.
I just get stubborn. That's the thing with me. I'll get in these stubborn points. I'm like, I'm not gonna let it win without a fight.
That's right. That's the best way to do it.
So off topic, apparently there is proposed legalization that would ban paddling in Kentucky schools. How do you feel about paddling in schools?
Wait, that's still legal. Paddling? You mean
Yep,
like
in
in
some places.
that's crazy. What? Okay, I'm a strong believer that I don't think spanking or any physical not violence, punishment towards children is a good method to teach them right from wrong. It teaches them to fear the person, not learn from their mistakes.
So what you're saying is if I wanted to be a teacher and I was teaching a class full of high schoolers and someone slept in the class, it would not be an appropriate response to just tip their desk over and let them fall.
No, of course not. I don't think that that's a good method at all. I
Dang it,
feel
now I'm not going to be a teacher.
there you go. Here's me destroying your dreams. No, I just don't think that that's a good method. Because
Yeah,
I mean, in general, I feel like high schoolers can be lazy. Hell, I was a lazy high schooler, but I mean, it goes deeper than, oh, this person's sleeping in class. No, schools in general are so early, it's ridiculous.
man,
It,
I
it
could talk about high school all day about
same.
it's just for me like high school was this complicated time of okay, academically I don't feel like the academic part of school is what makes school so difficult.
I disagree, but that's also just I feel like parts of the academic are challenging and doesn't fit for everyone. But also, just in general, like the times people go to school. Like I remember every day I had to wake up at 5 to get ready for the bus, and I am not a morning person. And 5 a.m. is my version of hell.
100%. I always rode a bus to school, so I always had to catch the bus, and that would be like, okay, you need to wake up at like 5:45 in the morning. Your bus is gonna get here at 6:30. I'm not gonna lie. There are so many days it's just like I don't care. I'm gonna wait till 6:20, and I'm gonna rush and do everything, and I'm gonna catch the bus right as it gets here.
That's right.
It's just and for me, when it came to high school, it was like academically, like I couldn't care if I didn't get the best grades. That was never my priority. It never really hurt my feelings. For me, it was just the social aspect that completely crushed me over time in high school.
Well, yeah. I mean, in general, all aspects of high school is terrible.
100%, I would not want to go back.
No, never.
Like even if you tell me, "Oh, you can go back to your high school days knowing what you know now." Okay, I still don't want to.
It's like, nope, I'm good.
There was so many days where it's just like, "Oh, now I have to listen to this teacher talk about something I don't care about." Like I'm not really listening, but at the same time I have to pay enough attention to pass. So,
Yes, that is the truth.
would not want to go through that again for anything.
Mm-mm.
And especially like when I was like a freshman, sophomore, I was in this one county and they sold sodas and all that stuff. You could buy things with caffeine in it and it'd be the full on not diet soda stuff.
Wait,
But
your school sold pop?
it did
Wow, mine
until
was
Michelle
very.
Obama crushed it.
Mine was always never sold pop. It was always like milk or water.
You had to go to a special area of the school to be able to buy the pop. Like it wasn't like, oh, you're in the cafeteria. Here, you want a Dr. Pepper instead of your normal or chocolate milk. That was never a thing. But there
You
was a
mean?
certain place. It opened up during like the breaks between classes, and you could buy it then.
Oh dang. No, we had vending machines, but like I said, they were mostly water or some like had Gatorade and like juice, but nothing caffeinated.
Yep. And then when it became junior and senior year, that was when Michelle Obama really nailed that coffin, and now it's like, oh, all these vending machines that the school I went to next had, it went from all good soda to, oh, now it's diet soda, and that's all you can have, and that's your option, diet soda. And even like then, it's like, what makes diet soda so much better than normal soda,
It's
health wise?
not. It's just as bad. It just makes people feel better about it, if we're gonna be honest here.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, it's just like, okay, the school rule says I can't bring this. So, okay, I have a way to bypass. I'm going to bring a water bottle. I'm going to have a can. I'm going to pour it into the bottle and I'm going to throw away the can. And you can't prove it.
That's right. That's a good. I mean, if you want to go around it, I don't know. I tried cutting. I've cut out pop at this point, and so I'm trying to avoid that caffeine because it's very addicting.
Absolutely. Caffeine, while it isn't the drug that like smoking or alcohol or something like
No,
that
it's
is,
sugar.
yeah.
Just all the sugar. It's very much. It was just getting to the point to where I would get headaches from not having enough. So it's like, all right, like you need to cut back. Jeez.
See, I feel like when I was in high school, I stress drank more. So I would drink like from the time I woke up at 5 to the time I went to sleep at like, let's say 11, just a rough estimate. I drink like 6 or 7, and like I look back now and it's like, man, that was a lot to drink in one day.
See, I grew up with a very strict diet when it comes to pop. Growing up, like I wasn't like we would have it in the pot in the house, but it was for my parents. Like we weren't allowed to have it. So I think that's really where it strained from. Was like I'm gonna drink all of this. No one could say no. I'm an adult now, and now I'm just like that was not a good decision. I regret that mistake. My bad, fam. My bad.
You know, for me, like soda was never, it was a pretty okay thing with my parents. It was never a, oh, we don't want you to drink this. But for
Yeah.
me, I always had I had a good metabolism. So for like until I got out of high school, I was super skinny. I was like 120 pounds or less, and I looked underweight, even though I drank all that soda.
Shoot, same here. and then, and then you hit a
And then
sin point.
suddenly, yeah, you leave high school and the switch.
Yep, it's just like, oh, good luck. Gotta hit the
Yeah,
gym
good
now.
luck. Yeah, you need to exercise more because
Ugh.
I still don't think I fully understand what the big difference is. Like, you did more walking in school, but is did that really make that big of a difference?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think that also just a mandatory gym classes were a big thing, and also there was a lot more extracurricular. I can't talk. Extracurricular activities. There we go. Available for
Talking is
students.
hard.
Yes, talking is hard. Functioning like a human is hard.
Yeah, when it came to gym class, it was always the I always would play like basketball when I could. I was awful at it, but it was the only thing I was passable at in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So it was just like, okay, you play basketball so you look like you're busy. That way nobody says anything. And then I went to this one school and it's like, oh, well, you have the mandatory stretches and basic thing to do for like 5 minutes. And then it's like, okay, this is today's theme for gym. And if you don't want to do that, you can just walk around the gym.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, I really appreciated that instead. That way I would always just do that once that was an option. I just walk. Because I'm a pacer. I can't stand still when I'm just standing up. I have to pace. I don't know why. I truly don't understand why I have to pace, but I'm always on the move when I'm standing.
I can relate. I did soccer a lot in school. I was pretty. I mean, I was very athletic in school, so I think that's part of my crash in my life. Was the
Uh huh.
was gaining all the weight.
You know, did you enjoy soccer?
Oh yeah, I played it since I was 3. It was my favorite thing.
Man, I never really attached myself to that I remember. I don't remember attaching myself to that kind of sport besides like, oh, gym basketball, I guess. But
I don't know. It was just always something that I've always liked running, so that was part of it too.
yeah,
But I have a love-hate relationship with running. I like doing it. I do not like feeling like I did it.
yeah, I feel like that's the worst part about staying in shape. Like, it wouldn't be so bad to stay in shape if there wasn't consequences to trying to get in shape.
Yes. It's like I should not be breathing this heavy. What is wrong?
Yeah, it's just like, okay, now suddenly I'm breathing heavy. Now I'm suddenly, oh, I'm sore the next day. Why?
Yes. That's 100% it.
Man, life as a human. What must other animals think about their lives?
They probably don't think anything other than I want to sleep, breed, and eat.
So cats?
Yes, just cats.
One day I'm gonna have a pet cat and it's gonna be great.
Oh, little fluffy kitty.
I, cats are just the best. When I hang around cats, they're just so friendly.
Yeah. See, that's generally a human mistake with cats. Like, cats are like people. Everyone has a different personality. So they're like, hell yeah, I like hugs. Other ones are like, hey, don't touch me. I don't like that. I'll sit next to you.
Yeah, I mean, cats, cows, dogs, they all have different personalities and it can definitely change how you perceive them.
Exactly.
And it's really hard to like for me like I don't think all dogs are bad, but I just the way dogs want affection all the time, I'm just not really a big fan of that. I'm very antisocial and I'm very don't get in my bubble and want in my attention all the time in a very evasive way, which I feel dogs are very guilty of.
Then you don't want my cat.
See, cats, I mean, most cats are like very, very short compared to dogs.
My cat Murphy, he wants hugs all the time. Like from the moment we get home, he's just like, "Hey, you're home. Touch me and hug me, please. If I don't get a hug right now, I'm going to scream."
Murphy just misses you.
He mostly misses Andrew actually. It's funny. Like it's not that Murphy doesn't like me. It's just like his preference of humans. He's like, "I like this human more. I am sorry."
You know, it is what it is. Sometimes everyone has favorites, you know?
That's right.
So I feel like the closing topic, because the backstory for people watching this was a very last minute edition of the podcast. I had guests lined up and they didn't work out, but Court was so nice to when she luckily had the time at the last minute was able to assist me and do this episode.
Of course. Thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.
So I feel like the last thing to really talk about, I'm going to come up with it right now. It just has to be something completely fresh, a fresh question.
Ooh. All right.
So, okay. You are, you have the ability to do any one thing, but there's going to be a huge consequence if you do this thing. But the thing is, it's going to be kind of like some people are going to know you did this, but some people aren't. So, are you going to take this chance and do whatever you want to do with it having consequences that some people will know about?
What's the consequence is the question.
Depends what your goal is, what you're going to do.
What am I gonna do? Like I don't understand. Like, do I do anything? Like I what?
Yeah, if you could do any one thing, what you have the ability to do whatever you want. but whatever
Oof.
you do is going to have major consequences that some people will know about.
I don't know. I'm not good at this. I guess I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of something nice to do. You know what? I would pay off everybody's layaways for the holidays. There we go. There's no
So I guess
consequence of that.
the consequence to that would be like all the layaways are paid off, but now suddenly there's no items in stock anymore.
What do you mean there's no items in stock? That's not how layaway works.
Yeah, all the items just disappeared, you know?
What?
We covered the layaways, but that's all we could do.
This is not how that works. No. I refuse. I couldn't think of anything good. It's like, yeah, a noble deed that's not too noble, you know?
A noble deed that's not too noble. So you want to be a good person, but you don't want to be a super too good person.
I mean, I'm not a saint. I don't want to come across like that.
I guess mine would be, what if you wanted to give people a consequence? What would the consequence for a consequence be?
Death.
Death.
There we
Like,
go.
oh, I want everyone to suddenly, I don't know, when they wake up, I don't know, you know, they're just gonna have a stomach ache all day.
Ooh, I have one. Minor inconveniences, like you stub your toe hard enough for it to bother you all day.
There's Legos surrounding everyone's house, but they don't know about it.
That they don't know about the Lego, and like when they first get up in the morning, that's what they step on. Just minor things. Like, you know what, that's a little too far.
It would be absolutely horrible. I don't know why we
Yes.
do this evil to anybody.
Just minor inconveniences. Someone cuts you off, and you're just like, great, come on.
You go to get something out of the printer, immediate paper cut.
Yes, or it's printed off sideways. Just minor things.
It's inverted, like the paper goes black and the text is white.
Or it prints horizontal instead of vertical.
You're suddenly, you sleep for 16 hours and you can only stay awake for 8.
Yes.
That would be awful for most people, I think.
Yes, you sleep past your alarm in the morning, and now you're running late for work.
I mean, if you slept for 16 hours, I'd imagine you missed work completely.
Oh, I didn't think about that. You're right.
You're gonna wake up and your boss is gonna be like, "Where in the hell are you?"
Yes.
Well, boss, for some reason I slept for 16 hours. I feel like this is very concerning. Um, yeah. I couldn't imagine sleeping for 16 hours.
I can't imagine sleeping for 10 hours.
I like 8 hours. That's my ideal amount of time to sleep.
That's mine too. It's very solid. It's just enough sleep, but it's not too much to where you still feel tired.
Yeah, the only thing for me is I wake up a lot at night. Whether it's, oh, I'm having this dream and I'm stubborn and I don't like this dream, so I'm gonna remove myself from this dream and now I'm awake. So
Oh man, so that's how you do it.
yeah, I feel like I've mastered the ability to wake myself up from a dream when needed.
Hey, that's a good skill to have.
It can be. It can also be the worst skill to have. Now you're suddenly waking up 1,000 times at night because, oh, you keep running into dreams you didn't prefer.
Yeah, that's also a good point. I didn't think about that. The constantly waking up. It's like, nope, we're gonna start over till we get this right.
And then at the same time, it's like, oh, you just wake up and you have no idea why you woke up this time. It's like, oh, you don't remember anything. You may have dreamed, but you don't remember it anymore.
That's right.
I've always found the concepts of dreams interesting. Like, I don't really believe anything I read on the internet about dreams. Like, oh, you dreamt about this person, that person had the same dream. Like, I don't really think that happens. I don't see how that could happen.
No, but I do believe that sorry, my cat's moved the mic. That some I apologize, sorry about that. I do believe that some dreams do have a meaning though. Like if you dream about specific things, that it's revolving around stress or certain feelings that you had throughout the day.
For me, I understand that point, but at the same time, I feel like it has to go like, oh, this was an issue you had years ago. We're going to put it in your face again tonight. Because, like, I don't have these stresses, but I understand the stresses in the dream. Like, it's previous things that have happened to me that I've done my best to move on from, but it keeps bumping itself back into the dream.
Yeah, definitely. That's all I meant by that. Like, no, I don't believe
Yeah.
like if you dream about the moon and the sun, that means this.
That
I don't,
means you're gonna wake up and the moon and the sun are gonna be right outside your window.
no, just I mean, people look up like weird dreams like, "Oh man, what does it mean when I dream about death?" It means that someone close to you is dying. I don't believe in that kind of stuff. I
It
do
means someone's gonna walk up to you in the street and stab you.
yes, that's exactly it. The weirdest dream sequence that I had was when I was a child. I had a dream that I fell and really hurt myself, and so it was weird. Like years later, like completely forgot about this dream. I fell on my nose exactly how I did in that dream and just like triggered that. So it bothered me for a long time. It's like, what in the world?
Yeah, I've had weird things like that, and I've also had like these experiences in school where it's like I hear something and it just feels like I've already experienced this before. Like I've already heard these exact things in this exact setting.
Oh, that happens to me all the time. Like that weird deja vu feeling. It's like,
Yeah.
nope. Do not like this feeling at all. Let's skip it, please.
I haven't really had it since leaving high school, but I don't know what causes that. Maybe it's stress.
I don't know. Well, the worst experience I would say for me was sleep paralysis. That is one thing that I do not like at all.
I've never experienced that. Can you explain how that is?
Yeah, it's basically where you I shouldn't say you wake up. Where you basically wake up from a dream, but you're still half asleep and can't move. So you're conscious that you're awake.
You're just unable to move your body.
Yes, and it's honestly the worst feeling ever. Um, it happened to me a lot in high school, but just like in adulthood, it happens if I would take a nap and I wake up too early, and it's just like you can't move, and it's like, and then you panic for a second. You're like, I can't wake up. Like, what do I do? And then I always eventually wake up. But the
But
weird
it must be the most terrifying experience when you're experiencing.
Yeah, definitely. I would say high school was probably the worst because you think that there's something wrong with you. And part of sleep paralysis too, you could have hallucinations in it. So that was also very terrifying. uh
Just what you need. Hallucinations and not being able to.
yeah, actually I can't remember where I read it, but there's some study with this too. It's kind of funny where some people who believe in aliens and believe that they were abducted actually experience sleep paralysis without even realizing that that's what that was.
So what you're saying is you've been abducted before.
No, not at all. I'm thankful that nothing was too like I never hallucinated something that strange. It's just more of like just a scary feeling just in general.
Yeah, I really don't want to have to experience that because
Yeah.
I just feel like that's not going to be the thing to wake up to, or I guess half wake up to.
Yeah, it's a very strange experience like I said. Thankfully it doesn't happen very often.
You know what I also hate? I hate when you wake up from a dream, but you're actually still in another dream.
Oh, yes, that's the worst too.
And then your brain, like, although when you think about it, you're clearly not in your actual room or wherever you're sleeping, but it
Yes.
looks vaguely close enough to where when you wake up like that, your brain's like, "Oh, okay, I guess I must be awake," and then something bad starts happening again, and you're like, nope,
Yeah.
wake up again."
Exactly. Uh,
Dreams are just the weirdest thing.
they really are. It's really interesting too, you know?
What the brain does when you're trying to get some sleep.
That's right. The brain's just like, oh, hey, we're gonna have some fun. Don't worry.
Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of fun, don't worry, you're just gonna enjoy the 100% of the ride before, during, and after.
Yes. uh,
Well, I feel like we've done pretty good. We've acquired an hour worth in Audacity, so I feel like we're good to end this episode here. Would you like to share where people can find you at?
sure. My channel is MeowTastic. It's the one with a white cat in the picture. But really, you guys should sub to Wes. Like, his channel is really fun.
I'll be sure to link her stuff in the description down below. Make sure to leave a like and comment if you enjoyed. I really do appreciate it. And until next week, I guess. We're definitely next week, next Sunday. I think that's going to be like super close to like Christmas or New Year's or whatever. Probably closer to Christmas in just a week. But yeah, I think that's all we have time for. Peace out, guys.
Bye.